Hi friends, this is Ryan at Renewed Health. Hope you are doing well. Thanks so much for tuning into our content. To ask you to please hit the like button and subscribe. I want to talk with you today about real food. We just actually got back from Polyface Farms up in Virginia and visited Mr. Joel Salatin. If you're not familiar with him, you should totally tune in. He knows what he's doing. Got a fantastic operation and just a genuinely fantastic human being. Great folks, and really has been impactful in kind of changing regenerative agriculture in the United States. Really been a forefront leader in that particular space. I want to talk with you a little bit today about real food and why it's so important. If you think about ancestral food that we ate as species for thousands of years, it looks really different than what, when you go to the grocery store today, looks like, where you see aisles packed with prepackaged food items, manufactured food items, and canned meats that you don't even know what they are when they're packed in plastic wrappers and pre-sliced and seasoned and coated with all sorts of different preservatives, and bread that doesn't mold or ever get hard, cheese that you can leave out and doesn't mold either, and vegetables that have coatings on them, and just a very different world. Even fish that you buy that doesn't have heads or tails or eyes or scales on them anymore. So then we think about not just a food supply looks very different than foraging, hunting, gathering, or growing your own food from thousands and thousands of years as humans to what we have today. And we wonder, why is everyone around us sick? Why do people have ailments and disease? Why are people getting cancer? I've wondered for years why this was such a realization, and how the world doesn't think, well, how does everyone not get cancer? How does everyone not have some type of degenerative disease when this is the food substance that people are eating? So I'm going to encourage you today to really kind of go back to the roots and think about a lot of what Weston Price was talking about when he was researching kind of the change going from traditional food supplies into a modernized food supply, and chronicling in his disease and degeneration book that he did, really the transformation that was taking place between folks that adhered to ancestral and traditional lifestyles and food supplies into the more modernized as well. One of the things that he talked a lot about was the impact of using high vitamin cod liver oil in pasture-raised butter. And years ago, a gentleman by the name of Dave Wetzel and his wife Barbara Wetzel moved to Nebraska and started a company called Green Pasture. And they started this really in their backyard. They got some cows. They started raising grass-fed milk. And started using a centrifuge to spin out the protein and the water, and concentrated just down into the dark yellow butter fat that was full of vitamin K and full of micronutrients and full of what they called the Wolzen factor. Well, I shouldn't say what they called, but what Dr. Weston Price called the Wolzen factor, which we now believe is primarily a complex form of vitamin K. And they started that company, and they've made great products for years. In my opinion, the best product that they make is this combination of cod liver oil and butter oil. And their cod liver oil is a fermented cod liver oil. So they don't use any heat. They use a traditional fermentation extraction process to extract the oils out of the livers. And then they combine it with this high vitamin butter oil, like Dr. Weston Price talked about. And that vitamin K and the deep nutrients in the butter oil fats, combined with the vitamin D and the micronutrients in their vitamin K, have a synergistic effect where it really shuttles that vitamin D deep into the body, makes it biologically active. So in the wintertime, in the fall, and when the days are getting shorter, and in the wintertime when it's impossible for your body to make vitamin D from the sun in most of the northern latitude, using a product like this can be really impactful. Immunological benefits, neurological benefits with the complex fatty acids, the DHA, the EPA, and just really good for your skin as well, your hair, joints, all sorts of benefits. So get yourself a bottle of this. Make sure you use the discount code RENEWED when you check out at Green Pasture's website. It'll get you a discount as well. But if you're going to try a product like this, buy 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 bottles of it. Use it consistently. I get really frustrated when I hear folks are like, well, I tried something for a couple weeks and I didn't notice any difference. You didn't get to this point in your life in 2 or 3 weeks of choices and have issues. You have to make repeated decisions over and over and over. Just like you're not going to become obese and eating one Happy Meal at McDonald's, but if you eat a couple times a week on a regular basis, you're going to get scale creep. Okay, so try a few bottles of this stuff, and I really think you'll be enjoying that. Now, if you haven't picked up a copy, this is a great book, The Marvelous Pigness of Pigs. Talks about raising animals and livestock the way that those animals were born to live, not in some industrial complex feeding them soybeans, feeding them slop and junk, but feeding pigs what pigs are supposed to eat. And it doesn't just go for that, feeding chickens what chickens are supposed to eat, feeding humans what humans are supposed to eat. And so, friends, as you're thinking about maximizing and optimizing your health, go back to your roots. Look at what you're putting in your body on a daily basis. Condiments, salad dressings, prepackaged foods, purchased foods from the store. Those are the worst. They're probably the most egregious. Even looking at your peanut butter labels, for goodness sake, everything out there, your pancake syrups, your pancake mix. Start getting back to thinking about how do I simplify in and get real food into my body. So hope that helps you. Enjoy your rest of the week. Make life the best that you possibly can. And look, perfection is impossible. Continual improvement is. And friends, be well out there. And thanks so much for tuning in. Again, Ryan from Renewed Health.